It's got to be a gift. It's not for me. It's a gift. It's New Year's. You know, that's what they asked for. That's what we're right in the middle of still Christmas Eve is when this is being shot. Hi, I'm Larry Baker. I am a certified level 2 sommelier and a senior wine and spirit specialist here at ABC Fine Wines and Spirits in beautiful North Miami. I think I'm North Miami. I've been working 13-and-a-half-hour days. It's time, as I promised, to talk about bubbles, including champagne. Not all champagne, you know, is champagne. All champagne is a sparkling wine, but not all sparkling wine is a champagne. Champagne is, even if it comes from France, if it doesn't come from the Champagne region of France, it is not champagne. They may be great, they may be made in a method of champagne with the double fermentation, but they are not champagne. So everybody calls all of that American sparkling wine, which is still good, or Italian sparkling wine, champagne. Now, when it comes to the very popular brands that we sell a ton of, especially during the holidays, a lot of it that's imported by Moet Hennessy is really what's really popular out there, and they're good champagne. But what they're called is non-vintage champagne. Non-vintage means it's a mixture of different years. It's not, the grapes are not from one specific year. And I'm going to show you the difference right here, that they all are available in a vintage form, and depending on how good or bad the year was, if it's a vintage form, you're talking about a lot of money. So I want it to be a buyer beware. And usually these are large production champagnes that are popular, and what's more popular when you go to Champagne, like I did last July, is from the smaller producers. So here we have different areas of, this is the regular bottle that's inside with different kitchen magnets. This is Veuve Clicquot, as we've talked about before, $39.98 non-vintage. They're non-vintage rosé. They're putting in this year a nice little ice bucket there that you can keep it cold, and a lot of people there, and they have a little zipper. But again, it's non-vintage, there's no year, and the price on this is $58.99. Very popular rosé. And then in boxes up here, they have their non-vintage Brut rosé from Moet is $54.98. And their Nectar Imperial, which is a demi-sec, which means semi-sweet, also non-vintage, is $52.99. Now when you come over here to our wines of distinction area, the very same brands like Veuve Clicquot 2008. Veuve Clicquot 2008 is a great vintage, a really good vintage for champagne, but you're talking about $100. When you talked about La Grande Dame Veuve Clicquot, this is the 2006 La Grande Dame. And this is a beautiful, probably the best thing that I love, this La Grande Dame, and it's $174.98. Now you see why most people drink non-vintage champagne, because it's more affordable. Just looking at Perrier-Jouet Rosé. Perrier-Jouet Rosé non-vintage is $79.98, but you put a vintage on their Belle Epoque, 2000. Oh, I'm dropping bottles here, folks. So don't mind me, I'll just break the whole store. Happy New Year. This is the 2006 vintage, is that correct? Yeah, 2004 vintage, but it's $289.98 because of vintage. That's how important the vintage is. Okay, and Dom Perignon even comes in several vintages down here. I got a cameraman today, Erwin. The regular one is 2009 is a vintage. It's just the regular Dom Perignon that you see everywhere. It's $154.98. Then the Legacy, which is 2008, a better vintage, is $169.98. You want the 2000 Dom Perignon? This is the P2, P square. It becomes $379.99. So I think we get the idea of why champagne is so good. So keep walking backwards. Everyone's turning his head. He's a little paranoid. But when we come over here, now I want to show you where I think fantastic value is for your money with our sourced and certified champagne. We're going to walk a little backward. Come on, Aaron, keep coming down here. That's right. We don't have to go to the wines of distinction. Hey, we could stop right here, you know, at Moutard. Moutard demi-sec. That's the same demi-sec that we saw, even 100% Pinot Noir, amazing quality, not $57.99, only $29.99, half the price, because it doesn't have to pay for the marketing of the brands, you know, and ABC in the state of Florida, Moutard, I love it, is sourced and certified. Father and son operation, and if you want a box, they're throwing it in a box this year, there you go. $29.99, we don't charge extra for the box. We come over to the champagne vintages here. I'm just going to show you there's a lot of other sparkling wines in this area here. that quality. I love Franciacorta. Franciacorta is a region in Italy. This is Contadi Castaldi, $27.99. I always tell you it's one of the areas, it's a DOCG area in Lombardia, in north central Italy, and that would be in the made of the Method Classico, or the method of Champagne. And the wine is $27.99, and it drinks exactly like champagne. There are Cremants from Burgundy. Cremants from Burgundy in a rosé. Let's say this is Burgundy with the same grapes, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, but all Cremants from Burgundy, France are not Champagne, because Burgundy is not in Champagne. And for a price of $18.99, it's made in the same exact method. So you got Prosecco and sparkling wines like that. But on the champagne value is one I want to show you. So remember, we talked about the Veuve Clicquot down here, $39.98 for no vintage. We saw the $100 one, and the La Grande Dame for $174.98. We come to my favorite value in the whole world, and I was there in July. Jean Noel Hatton, since 1928, they've been doing this wine, third generation, and it is a vintage champagne. 2012, noble vintage, millésime they call that. They only make it in a very good vintage is the year they use, and you're talking $39.98 for the non-vintage popular Veuve Clicquot, and the fabulous value that you will surprise your friends and celebrate the new year from one single vintage that drinks like a $70, $80 bottle is $39.99. Even ABC writes on their tasting notes that this is a steal for a vintage champagne. Also, Blanc de Blanc, if you like a little bit more acidity from Chardonnay. You're looking at a vintage 2013 Jean Noel Hatton vintage Blanc de Blanc, 100% Chardonnay at a price of $36.99, not $80, $90, $100 product when you buy the smaller champagne. And if you're gonna buy non-vintage, you should go with Charles Mignon, because there's two important words that's going to be on it that say Grand Cru. Grand Cru, the finest vineyards that are in the Champagne region, both their rosé at $52.99 and the white at $46.99. These are both Grand Cru, and yet hundreds of dollars less expensive than the stuff that has years. So again, to review, we have non-vintage champagnes, and there's sparkling wines that are made in the method of champagne, and then there's vintage champagne, not from many, many different years, but from one specific year the grapes come from. And you could go with the popular brand, but you're going to spend at least minimum of $99 to $100, and you're not going to be getting the value that I'd like to see you get with some of our sourced and certified champagne that are exclusive to us in Florida. For further information on any of these sparkling wine, as we're still right in the midst of almost closing up Christmas Eve, I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful holiday with your family and friends and all that good things and good tidings, or whatever how that song goes. Look at abcfws.com, and you could always contact me via my blog by putting follow me. And remember that wine is not for snobs. Remember that this new year. Make it a resolution. It's for everyday people like you and me, and especially people that see a value when they drink a vintage champagne for $39.99, 1 penny less than the popular brand.